Okay, everyone, thank you again for joining us. This is our fifth episode of Syncretism, Geocentrism, and Tropical Astrology. And yeah, as always, this is going to be a wonderful show. Thank you all for joining us. For those of you that are watching live and for those that are participating in the chat. So thank you. And take it away, Santos.
Oh, thanks, Summer. All right, welcome everybody. Now, this is a bit of an eclectic show, this one. So geocentrism, flat earth, astrology, everything good, everything true, everything syncretic. And so what I'm going to do today is we're going to learn how to tell by looking at the face of the individual to see if we can ascertain the sun sign. Certain features are consistent for each sun sign, okay, and the ascendant. Now, so here's a little trick. People who are born during the day, their sun sign is bolder. Now, I was born during the day, 5:40 in the afternoon. Therefore, my Aryan features, March the 24th, will stand out, and you'll see that as we look at the pictures and photographs in today's presentation. Those that were born at night, the sun is weaker, the sun sign is debilitated, okay? The moon comes out a little bit stronger, but most definitely the earth sign, which I call the ascendant, or the rising sign, which I call the earth sign. Okay, so you hear people saying, well, what's your rising sign, or what's your ascendant? And that is determined by the time of birth. And so, but that to me is the body, the earth, the earthy parts. And so your skeletal structure, a lot of your physiology comes out in the ascendant, and more so for the nocturnals, those that were born at night. So anything after sunset and before sunrise, your ascendant will be more prominent. This is why sometimes it's very hard to pick the sign, especially of the nocturnals. The diurnals are very easy because the sun is strong during the day and it comes out more. But the sun, even though it does give you your look, it is more of a spiritual energy than the earth sign, the rising sign, the ascendant sign. So I've given that 3 names. I'd like for you to get familiar with that, but also to know that it's the earth sign. It's the earth of your body. Your body comes through the ascendant sign. So we're going to learn this today. We're not going to be so much focusing on the moon. The moon doesn't really come through as much. It's much more difficult to detect the moon. You can really only detect the moon in the reactions of people. So a Taurian, someone who has a Taurus moon, their reaction is very steadfast, solid. Someone has a Taurus moon, on the other hand, you know, fiery and aggressive and emotional. They engage their emotions like fire. Aryans, combative. Libran moons, argumentative. They're the judges, you know, they're the lawyers. Oh, like a Lisa Simpson against her daddy Homer, you know, like, oh, she got me with words. Those are your Librans. Geminis are like that too, very quick. And you can tell Gemini moons, sometimes they get stuck in 2 minds and they're like, it's like 3 minutes before they respond. And other times it's so quick-witted. So the moon, we're going to not focus so much on that. We're looking for the sun sign today, and mixed with the ascendant sign. And so here is the science of the wave, guys, and this is how the energies work. Tropic of Cancer, you've seen this in my presentation all the time. I do not need to modify this sine wave for the geocentric model. Although I've based all my stuff on the heliocentric model in my astrotheological presentations, the wave still stands. Everything's based on the wave. It doesn't matter what shape the Earth is, it's the wave that determines everything about astrology. Tropic of Capricorn. Equator. Sun starts at March the 21st, equinox. Goes up to the Tropic of Cancer. Down to the equinox, the equator again. Gee, I don't like that, man. I'm too fussy for that stuff. And then it goes back around here, down to the Tropic of Capricorn, and the sine wave does that. We're going to bring the sine wave around on itself. For ease, we put in the solstices. Okay, I don't really need to stop and explain all this. I want to move forward, get onto the presentation. I'm just doing this so that you can understand the energies that are generating the different 12 tribes of Israel: Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. And if you don't know them that quickly and in your memory that efficient, you've got some learning to do, guys, and some memorizing. You should be on that. Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Should be able to do that better than you do the alphabet, because it is the alphabet. It's the alphabet of spiritual transcendental wisdom. This is the mother of all sciences. Aries, always the first. March the 21st, the Passover Lamb of God. The Lamb of God, the wedding of the Lamb and the bride. Because you see, when the sun suffers in the winter and finally crosses over the equinox, it's the Passover, and you eat the lamb, and Abraham slays the lamb, and Mithras slays the lamb, and everywhere in every culture and every place in the universe, they have this story, they have this tradition. The sun is killing the lamb. Taurus, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, these are the spring months. These people are the youthful ones, the babies of the zodiac, forever youthful, forever childlike, not childish, childlike, for you must be like children to enter the kingdom of the heavens. Then you have your Cancerians, your Leos and your Virgos. These people are much sort of more summery, warmer, more advanced. These are the youths, more like the teenagers. Cancer, Leo, Virgo. This is summer now. So there's your paradise of heaven. This is the paradise of hell. Hell just means winter. That's all it means. Because how do I know that? Well, in Italian, inverno is very similar to inferno. Inverno is winter. Inferno is hell. Libra, Scorpio, Sag, autumn, the tomb, going down to St. Thomas Day, the 21st of December, the solstice, St. Thomas Day, tomb, autumn, the tomb of winter. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Here is the winter. This is the flood of Noah. This is the water part of the ecliptic. Opposite is the dog days over here in Leo. And so all of this generates the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 tribes of Israel, and you belong to one of those tribes by virtue of your sun sign, your star sign. And the sun sign really denotes your house, the house that you belong to. What spiritual house do you belong to? It's spiritual. The sun is spiritual. Not that any of the others are not spiritual, but the sun reaches the highest of the archetypes and the lowest. The sun encompasses everything in your chart. You can basically ascertain a whole story of your chart by looking at the sun and the degree that it is on the ecliptic and in your sign. And then all the other planets tell you this, that, and the other. And so the sun is the spirit soul. Soul is Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. And it's the soul that you have in you, for you are an animus, an animal. and a soul, animated. And so this is what animates you. It's the sun. And we are blessed to have this science in its most advanced form in the modern age now. We have many books, we have many resources and much literature. And today's book, hang on one tick, I'll just have to get that. I did put it away like a good little boy because I'm going to be using my PDF version. I'm not going to be working out of the book like I did last time. Folks, you can get, if you go to my website, you can go to William Schreib's website and get this book for about 20, 25 bucks. I don't know, it's very, very well priced. And I recommend it as the best book on the planet for understanding astrology. Okay, you're not going to learn how to necessarily read the chart. You're not going to be learning about anything like horary astrology or mundane astrology or chart reading or those kind of things. But what you are going to learn is how the ecliptic, the sine wave, affects you and everyone else. And you'll be able to use your eye and your eyes, dualistic, and your eye, unity, to be able to detect the signs, and you'll do it in such a way. Some of the people that write back to me after watching some of my presentations where I use this book, and they've gone out and got the book, they come back to me and say they have about 90% success in picking people's signs. So here we go, guys. I'm going to share my screen. If there's any problems with the sharing, please jump in. And also, I noticed that the other day's presentation, my cursor was frozen, and I thought it was working. So please jump in and correct this, because you've got to remember, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. And so you have to help me here, because we've got to make the best presentations with clarity. And so jump in. I also noticed that I always do this anyway, but I always confuse some of the words because I'm thinking so quickly. And in that presentation about the cell salts, I think it was, that I did the other day, what was it? No, it was how to read the chart. I said Gemini instead of Mercury, and that would have caused a lot of confusion. And so, I did that about 10 times throughout the whole. So if anyone's paying attention and realizes I made a mistake, just jump in. I'm happy. I don't mind some interaction. I just need 1 hour to get the information out of the way, then we can do question and answers. But if I do say something that you can hear clearly, it's not correct, or my cursor's not working, or something technical is happening that should be corrected, jump in. Here we go. And mute your mics, please, because the moment you make a noise, you got your mic, what will happen is the video will go to you. And so if you're sitting there picking your nose and you make some noise, the camera's going to get you picking your nose. So best that you mute the mic.
For this one, Santos, I have you presented to everyone, so nobody, if they do speak, they're not going to be seen. Just letting you know that. But that's
okay,
still, they should have their muted mics, absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, you jump in, Summer, if you notice anything like the cursor or something like that. Can you see my cursor?
Absolutely. You're good.
Rightio. Here we go. Now, how to tell the ascendant and the sun sign, so the earth and the sun. All right, so this is what we're looking at, guys. There's your Arians. So who have we got here now? We've got, I don't know all of these people. I'm not a big movie buff. I'm not, I got better movies in my own head than watching anything that Hollywood churns out. Although I do like the movies from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But anyway, look, there's Hugh Hefner. There's clearly the Aryan ram there. There's no mistake about Hugh Hefner. Eddie Murphy here, more so his energy and Alec Baldwin there, they truly have that Aryan energy. It's very much like a magnetic rock, and it's angular energy. I find that when I'm near an Aryan, I can feel that magnetism. It's some kind of a angular, jagged sort of a iron rock. You'll see iron here. These people are martial, Mars, action, fire in the eyes, redness. A lot of redheads come from Mars. Redheads are usually from Scorpio or Mars, or they have a strong Scorpio or a strong Mars. They can be anything else, Aquarian, Libran, but if their Mars is rising or in one of the angles, the 10th house, the angles are, get familiar with the angles, guys, because when a planet is in the angles, it really defines the chart. So if Mars is in the first house, the ascendant, or in the 10th house, the MC, the midheaven, or in the 7th house, opposite the ascendant, called the DC, the descendant, or the IMC, which is opposite the MC, the 4th house, these planets, they add their flavor. So if Mars is in one of those, you'll find, I've found that people, a lot of redheads have this kind of combination, Mars in a very prominent place. So just excuse me, I'll just put the Wi-Fi on. We've got some internet folks here. Okay, so look at those. You can still see those, can't you?
You're frozen, but yes, we can still see them.
Yeah. No cursor?
No cursor.
That's because I jumped off the page.
It's okay.
All right, can you name some of those people there from left to right? Anyone who knows those folks, just so that we can progress?
Well, that's Spock up at the top left. That is, I don't know his name, but he's on those commercials, the Progressive, not Progressive, but the car insurance commercials. I don't know that actress. That's Celine Dion next to her. Reba McEntire. Under Reba is Eddie Murphy. Alec Baldwin, I believe, right next to him.
Yep.
Sarah Jessica Parker right next to him, and then Hugh Hefner. Gosh, you can totally see it in his eyebrows. Wow. And then I don't know the guy next to him actually.
Slow, sister.
We've got Leonard Nimoy and of course William Shatner, the man.
Yeah. That's who he is.
Yeah.
William Shatner. Yeah.
Sorry, and I'm out.
Okay, guys, I'm just having a freeze up here. My internet is very, very slow. Just waiting to turn the Wi-Fi on. It's just not picking up. It's one of the slowest pages, this Wi-Fi thing. So what you've got there is all your Aryans, you see, and obviously there's going to be a difference in ascendants. These people, but clearly the sun sign comes through. Some of these people are born at night, so they are nocturnals, and some of them are born at day, but always the sun sign comes through. So it never fails. Sometimes it's weak, and sometimes the moon is prominent, depending on where the moon is. If the moon's in an angle, 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, 10th house, or she's aspecting with the sun, full moon, opposition, or conjunction, new moon, or quarter moon on a square, she also tends to put her, little bits in. But always the sun is the prominent one. Not responding. All right, so all right, you can't see me, can you?
Mm-mm. No.
What about now?
Oh, yes, we can.
All right. So here we go. Here are some of the. In fact, I'll get you to read that if you can. Physical traits. Start from the very top here and read all down to the purple there, while I focus on getting this Wi-Fi going.
Okay. All right. All signs rule a part of the body, and this rulership changes body language and personality traits. Aries rules the head, so all of their force seems to emanate from the head. The rest of the body follows behind as the head leads the forward charge.
Go on.
The huge Aries head suggests lines and bone structure which resembles the physical traits of a ram. The photos of Aries, James Woods, show us how the face takes on its convex structure. From the recessed chin, the bone structure stretches forward as the flesh wraps the mouth with sharp, muscular folds. Highly placed above the wide upper lip plate is the long and pointed snout. Note the dented membranes just above the nostrils. Upside from this prominent nose, the eyes, brows, and forehead sweep to the back to create the ram's highly convex face. Also, watch for the sheep-like eyes and the arched mottled plate on the forehead. An exaggerated version of this plate can be seen in the foreheads of Star Trek's Klingon creatures. On top of the ram's head lies the reddish double-crowned tufts of the hair, which mock the shape of the sheep horns.
Okay, you can see that in Hugh Hefner. You can see that in Alec Baldwin, Celine Dion. Okay, the convex face is here, typified here. Can you see my cursor?
Yes, it's just a little slow, but we can totally see it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so look at the ram. Look at the ram, the way its horns proceed from the top of the head, and you can see adjacent there. You can see that in this Aryan picture here, very, very clearly. This is the ram. They have very, very defined martial features. These people are, they appear to be combative, ready to fight. They have that look about them, and so the lamb's eye, unfailing. You'll see that all the time. The sheep-like eyes. Yeah. What else did I find was interesting? The recessed chin, the bone structure stretches forward as the flesh wraps the mouth with sharp muscular folds. There you go. You can see that here. Alec Baldwin. Here. Very clear here. Okay, the double crown tufts of hair. I've got all these features, all of them. This is why it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh when siderealists say, "Oh yes, but you're Piscean, and I just it makes me cringe on the one hand, it makes me laugh on the other hand. How can they miss it? How can you miss it? You cannot miss that I'm Aryan. A lot of Piscean comes through because I've got a Pisces moon, and I've got Jupiter and Mercury conjunct in Pisces, tightly conjunct to the Sun. So this is why.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Is it just me, or is
Yeah,
he gone?
there's no sound coming from his end. I think he's frozen.
Yeah. Santos, you're frozen, buddy. Gotta get some of that fire in you.
Yeah. It's okay. These things happen all the time,
Yeah.
technology. So it's all good. We'll just keep everybody entertained until then.
Yeah, very, very true. Every Aryan I know fits this description perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting because for me, I always get Scorpios and Arians mixed up. I can spot a Scorpio without a doubt, but Arians I sometimes tend to mistake for Scorpions.
Oh yeah, what is it about them?
They both are ruled by Mars, so they still have that. Like you see right here, you can't see my cursor, but Hugh Hefner at the bottom, that's like classic Scorpio traits. It's that piercing eyebrow type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Santos has dropped out, but that's okay. He'll be back. We just have to make sure there's a spot open for him because sometimes this stuff gets full and he won't be able to join. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, I
So
don't think
yeah.
there's a spot.
No, there is. There's 9. We have one more for him.
Okay.
Hmm. But yeah, they're martial, and I thought that was very, very. Oh, see, he's back. Poor Santos. This drives him crazy. I know he's like losing his mind right now.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's up,
At the
Jada?
beginning, he was talking about the ascendant signs, and they're also known as the earth sign. And what else did he say?
I'm not quite sure.
He calls it 3 different signs. I know he said it was earth, ascending,
It's a
and something
rising
else.
sign.
Yeah,
Rising.
the
Rising.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the top would be midheaven, the MC.
Yeah, that's the midheaven. The MC is what the symbol looks
Yeah.
like.
On the midheaven, is the midheaven always is it the 10th house?
Yeah, the cusp of the 10th house. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Mhm. And the midheaven it has different interpretations to different astrologers, but ultimately that's like what you see yourself as to society, like your aspirations. Like for example, when you were 6 years old, you made up your mind with what you wanted to be, like kind of person you wanted to be, and that always will associate with the midheaven.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you have two things in there, like planets, does that mean you act like both of those planets?
Those planets have a big influence. It really depends on the sign as well. The 10th house is your career. So having planets in those houses can be really good, or it depends, like, I don't know. Is that in your birth chart?
I thought
Yeah,
his 10th
I
house
have
was
my
death.
sun sign in there,
No.
and then I have one other planet. I'm trying to think which one is, but yeah. Oh, there he. Okay.
There he is. He needs to turn that Wi-Fi off for those people, probably.
I love stressing that because, well, I deal with a lot of dunces, unfortunately, and Santos,
Classic
you're
Santos.
stretching your Danny Wilton types. Oh, Santos's etymology, ha ha ha. The guy doesn't even know what the word etymology means. I mean, but because he's a lover of cartoons, but I have to do that to stress it because I don't invent it. I don't invent any of the things I say. I study and I stand on the shoulders of all the greats, and Mars is Adam because it's Maradim, Mars Adam in Hebrew. So, thank you, sister.
All right, you're back. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem,
Santos is
Santos.
definitely back. Okay.
What happened? Was I off?
Yeah,
Was I?
you were off. Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
Oh yeah, the whole time. You didn't know you were off?
Since when?
You were off for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
quite a lot.
You've only just come on. You've only just come back in the last 20 seconds.
I thought you knew.
So what was the last thing I said then? Where did we drop off?
Well, I had
canned Danny Whitten for a bit, and that's all we've heard.
yeah. We thought you knew because you completely dropped out of the call, out of it.
Yeah, Summer
Should I-
was
should I-
reading. That was the last
Should
thing.
I go?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had just finished reading that description.
It's okay, Santos. We're fine. We love listening to you or waiting for you.
Poor thing.
So should I go back to Aries?
Yeah, just finish up.
Yes.
The sheep-like eyes, you look for those. Although they are sheep-like, they do have a combative nature too. So they are the lamb and they are the wolf. This is where the canine is, folks. I learnt this from Thomas H. Burgoyne, that the canine is not missing from the zodiac. It's in Aries, because where the sheep is, there is always the wolf. And so these people can be like wolves too. They can be fierce, combative, aggressive, fiery. And, you know, you don't want to get in their way, man, when they want to win that war. And they do win their wars. They don't lose. Aryans don't like to lose. They're number one. I am. And so they protect their amness, their isness. And they do that with all their hearts. And then again, they are the children of the zodiac. They are the number one babies of the zodiac. And so, how did that come on? Okay. Oh, yeah, because I sent an email. Okay. But what you're looking for is that iron-like energy. It's Mars through and through. These people carry swords. They are warriors. All martial people, Scorpios and Capricorns and Aryans alike. Those are the three signs of Mars. Mars exalts in Capricorn. Yeah, they have sword in hand, you know, and they are fighters. They are combative. They are explosive in their energy and expansive at the same time. All the cardinal signs are signs of sacrifice, okay? The lamb is sacrificed. The goat is sacrificed. Libra, sign of sacrifice. These people give themselves in a more humane way because it's the mental air sign. Cancer is the same. It's the unicorn, the crab, the scarab, and these people sacrifice themselves in service, whereas the mutable signs are service signs. And you'll find that Virgo, for instance, is known as the servant of the Lord. Okay, so you can see that energy. It's pretty clear there. So here we have a very different look. It's pretty obvious, those Venetian eyes. This is Venus now. And Aries is the sign of Mars, and Mars is Adam, and Venus is evenness. Okay, so for all the materialist Danny Wilton types who pretty much are just cartoonists and things like that, know nothing about transcendental science, haven't read a book in their life, etc., etc. You know, go out of their way to try and you know, make you look silly when you're a syncretist and you know your words and your etymology. They don't even know what the word etymology is. And so why do I know that Mars is Adam? Because, of course, there's going to be a scoffer or two that'll be like, you know, oh, you're stretching it now. And I really enjoy getting those emails because then I get a chance to just rip them. And I love ripping them. I don't let them get away with no bullshit. So, you know, scoff all you want and then let me know about it and then you'll know about what I've got to say when I reply. Because Mars in Hebrew is Adam in Hebrew is Ma-adim. Now, I'm going to repeat this because I think you might have got that before, but I just have to repeat it again because it's very important. Adam and Eve and their respective astrological names, Mars and Venus, are the symbols you see on your toilets and toilet door. And that's Adam and Eve. There's no other archetype. These are the archetypes. And in Hebrew, Adam is Ma, M-A-R, Adim, A-D-I-M. That is Adam. And Adam means red, and Mars is red. And there's a lot of other factors that prove conclusively that Adam is Mars. That is the archetype, folks. It's also the Sun, it's also Saturn, it's all of them. It's all the seven. So when you hear me saying, oh, everything goes back to the Sun, well, that's true, but I could have completed that sentence by saying, and Saturn, and Jupiter, and Mars, and Venus, and Mercury, and the Moon, because they all interplay with each other. All of them. And so, you know, this is to prevent, I don't know how many emails, guys, that I've had where people say, oh, you said everything goes back to Saturn, then I heard you say it goes back to the Sun. Are you confused? What's the matter with you? Well, you know, this is it. When you don't fully understand the science and you're not in the transcendental mind, those truths will gloss over and you won't be able to grasp them. All of our archetypes go back to these planets. Okay, so here what we can see, the archetype of Venus is showing in these people, guys, and the moon exalts also in Taurus. So you can see the lunar energies and the Venetian energies. So would someone like to help me with reading the physical traits, please?
Yeah, I don't mind, Santa.
Thanks, man.
So just start from the top there. Okay,
Please.
physical traits. Taurus rules the throat, neck, and shoulders. The rulership of body areas progresses downward in the same order as the zodiac signs. It's a little bit cut off there on the right. Okay.
No, it's right.
No, yeah, now it's good.
Did it?
No, you're good. You're good, Santos.
Yeah. From Aries, rulership of the head, the energies shift down into the Taurus-ruled neck and shoulder region of the body. Unlike Aries' forward thrust from the head, Taurus's internalized feminine energies, placed in this part of the body, seem to restrict any forward movement. Note how the forward lean of the shoulders pushes the rest of the lower torso to the back. This weight distribution bows the legs as it plants the feet firmly in the ground. This body rulership and the fixed earth energies define this creature's physical features. Most notable are the heavy shoulders, the massive bones and torso, and the stocky arms and legs. This fixed earth also shows in Taurus's facial patterns. Valerie Bertinelli and Michael Moore strongly display the expressive features and facial structures of Taurus. The first clue is the square blocking patterns that appear in these individuals and in most fixed signs. Note the cubical skulls and foreheads, the square jaws, and the wide-set nostrils on the nose. The most obvious Taurus feature is the large bovine eyes, which rise on the outer edges to reveal the large and full pupils. These eyes are firmly set under the broad, fixed brows. In contented moments, the full dark pupils sit high under the lids, intently focused on nearby objects.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. So there's the posture there. You see the heavy set shoulders, the neck. You'll see the neck is quite prominent in the Taurians, but usually you can pick up the sign of Taurus through the eyes, mostly those beautiful Venetian eyes. They really have the softest, sweetest eyes. Who have we got here? I think we've got, yes, is that Michelle Pfeiffer? Yeah, she's a very good example of it. Yeah, Anthony Quinn, he's got sort of more the Taurus, the bull. You can see that bull there, can't you? George Clooney, there you can really see those eyes. This is what the women like in George Clooney. He's got that those Venetian eyes. So the men with the feminine signs like Taurus, they have an earthiness about them, and women do love that because it connects with their earthy energy. You know, matter, material, mother, all of those kind of things. Here we have this guy here. If you can see my cursor, there's a typical Taurus nose. You can pick it. He also looks very Scorpio because Scorpio is opposite Taurus. So these people will also have that Martian Scorpio look coming through too. I often pick the opposites of these two. But, in particular, this axis is the one that really resembles each other more than any of the others. You know, like the Aries Libra, Gemini Sag. The one stands out where you can really get confused. Continuing on, the Taurus sun signs above display that rock-solid demeanor of fixed earth. Share, before cosmetic enhancement, very cheeky of William there, rub it in. Shirley MacLaine, Anthony Quinn, and George Clooney show the wide-set, fixed bovine eyes. Michelle Pfeiffer is a good example of that. Look at those wide-set eyes. You know, that's the cow. and they have a very squarish face. Leos do too, like the heart. The Leos have a heart-shaped face. You'll see that when we come to it, because it's the heart. Dennis Rodman and Renee Zellweger reveal their Taurus roots even with the abundance of fire components in their charts. You'll see strong winds of air raise a little dust in the expressions of Uma Thurman. Oh yeah, there's clearly air there. You can see that in the top part of the face, and you'll realize that when you get to Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That certain look in the eyes of the air signs. It's just incredible. You'll see strong winds of Cher and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. So all of those, Uma Thurman, Cher, and Dwayne Johnson, have that airy mix to their look. With a dominance of earth components, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jack Nicholson, Clooney, and Quinn appear to be the most sensual and highly grounded of the group. Grounding is certainly it. These people are the sensual ones. Earth signs have to do with sensuality. All right, so let's continue on. Gemini. Here we go. There's the air sign, and look at the hands. Where are the hands? Of course, the twins, the hands. Ruling planet is Mercury. The careers for Gemini would include journalism, broadcasting, teaching, writing, and just about everything that has to do with words and communication. Other satisfactory work would include travel agent, chauffeur, or postman. Any work that ties them in one place is not recommended. Let's just go back to Taurus for that, because we don't want to miss out now. Traditionally, Taurus is associated with banks, buildings, land, real estate, treasures, and possessions. The metal of copper, of course, Venus is copper, and there's her glyph just above there. The stone sapphire and the fragrant rose arouse many bovine senses. Since Taurus rules the throat, many Taurus souls have incredible golden voices. All my favorite Italian singers are Taurians. Albano, he's a very, very famous Italian singer, a Taurian, sings like no one else. Anyway, that doesn't matter because you don't know them, but have a look at the great, great Taurian singers and you'll understand what this means. It rules the voice, the speaking. They make good philosophers. Plato supposedly was Taurian. Karl Marx and all of these philosophers that have great renown mostly come from Taurus. Careers including farming, builders, architects, singers, and of course financial bankers. Let's go back to Aries. Sorry, I missed this. Careers often include firemen, of course, engineer, butcher, metal workers, and professional sportsmen, of course. Okay, there's the Gemini, floating on the clouds, very airy. So, can we have a reader, please?
If no one will, I'll do it.
If no one will, I'll do it.
Please.
Oh boy, we have feedback now.
We can take summer. We can take summer.
Everyone mute in that case. I'll mute.
Okay. All right, so Gemini physical traits, which rule the lungs, arms, and hands. Note everything that is twinned. Okay, the area of the body ruled by Gemini is the lungs, arms, and the hands. The polar shift to masculinity makes the energies expansive, free, and flowing. The dueling mutable forces animate both of the hands and arms and their respective sides of the body. As Geminis fly along their path, their twirling hands propel them forward. As the head turns from left to right, it acts like a rudder on a plane. Any change in their thinking process seems to redirect their course of flight. These mutable air energies also define Gemini's physical nature. The body is often light and lanky, with the Gemini ascendant to enhance the traits of their chatty sons, Gene Wilder and Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Both display the skewed features of the broad two front teeth, the sparkling offset eyes, and the long bridged nose, which dips abruptly at the tip. They also show how Gemini's cheeks protrude forward from the ears in parallel planes to form the twisted jaw and chin. These two also present the cumulus folds of the flesh which duplicate the components in the face. They appear to have 2 eyebrows, 2 upper eyelids and lips, 4 cheeks, etc. There appears to be 2 twin faces where one should be. You're still muted, Santos, if you're talking to us.
All right, so I'm back on. Yeah, look, you can see that clearly in people like Paul McCartney. You see the two, clearly one side of the face is really prominently different, especially in the eyes. Clint Eastwood, you can see one eye veering off to the left. This happens a lot with the mutable signs, especially Gemini and Virgo, ruled by Mercury. And so the Geminians usually have this feature. It's one way to tell them, that skewed facial look, and especially when you're looking in the eyes. Somehow the eyes tell them away, more so than anything else. Their cheeks protrude forward from the ears. You can see that here. You can see that in, gee, what's her name again? It's very Angelina Jolie, Bob Dylan. You can see it in Clint Eastwood. There's the cheeks. Eyebrows. The 4 cheeks. There's a lot of cheek going on there, isn't it? And they are cheeky. The Geminians are the cheekiest. They're quick with about their wits. They love to play around. You can see that look in their face, can't you? You can see that they're up to some tricks somehow. Moving on, the Gemini sun signs above display the electricity of mutable air. Of the group, Joan Rivers best represents the mercurial chatter we often hear from Gemini. There she is. That's a typical Gemini there, you know. Yeah, sometimes they're quite loquacious, and they use their hands a lot. Oh boy, do they. Watch out for their hands. Anderson Cooper and Tim Allen are also quite the talkers, but their assertive Aries moons make them far more forceful in their presentations. Angelina Jolie, Annette Bening, and Nicole Kidman all show the flighty solar natures, but the fire in their charts make them more intense and expansive. Paul McCartney's abundant air and fire is grounded by his Virgo ascendant. Some Geminis appear more restrained. Wordsmith Bob Dylan has 5 components in Earth, so he also appears firmly grounded, even when his mind is racing at full speed. And speed is the operative word there, because basically he was inspired by speed to write all those lyrics. He's a great speed user, methamphetamines. So and I don't think you need it being a Gemini. They don't need any speed at all. Clint Eastwood's Scorpio ascendant often covers his mercuric nature with the Dirty Harry personae. Marilyn Monroe with 4 water planets shows the difficulties that can occur when emotions are constantly churned by relentless thoughts. Yeah, watery signs mixed with air signs will create this mixture of emotion and mind. Cancer, from the 22nd of June to the 22nd of July, feminine polarity, cardinal water. Cancers are excellent businessmen, caring nurses, caterers, boat builders, housewives, kindergarten teachers, antique dealers, and museum curators. There's the posture for the Cancerian. They keep their hands to themselves, and they tend to sort of walk from side to side. So, reader, please, physical traits.
I mean, I could read again.
Thank you.
Santos, mute your mic for this.
Mute your mic for this.
For feedback.
Okay.
For feedback.
Okay, any feedback, Summer?
No, you're
Nope,
good.
sounds like we're good. Okay. Physical traits of Cancer. Cancer rules the breasts and the upper torso. When the rulership of body areas progresses downward in the breasts, the energies are contained in the largest part of the body, the shell of the torso. The accumulation of feminine forces in the torso dynamically alters the body language. The extremities are pulled in tightly to the body to anchor the crab securely in its occupied space. Makes sense? Any movement out of this comfort zone begins when the crab's heavy shell is turned to the side and tilted forward. With this tilted mass of torso weight, the crab appears to fall forward and sideways. Amazingly, the feet scuffle to the sides and then to the front, to bring the back to an upright position a few feet further down their path. To demonstrate the physical traits, we have two pure-bred crabs. Ross Perot and Karen Black both have Cancer rising, and their sons are in the first decan of Cancer. For both Cancer traits, run strong. The Cancer face is roundest of all the signs. This effect is due to the giant round temples, which form the beaming full moon circle that sits low on the face. Centered in this circle are the facial components, which seem to swell in sync with the building emotions. Interestingly, the furrows in the forehead, the eyebrows, and the wavy triangle between the eyes seem to mock the lines on the back of the crab's shell. And Santos, your mic is muted.
Thanks, guys. Great reading there. Really appreciate that. You're both exceptional readers. So thank you. Yeah, look, that's interesting. I see when the Cancerian has like a moon glow about them, but they also have that crabby look. You know, you can see a crustacean kind of a look there. You know, so hard sort of sometimes on the outside, but softness inside. There's a gentle energy there, motherly, and it's a beautiful, the silvery kind of an individual, and the men cannot escape that. They come across as motherly. It's beautiful. So what are the features that really stand out there? So the furrows in the forehead, again, that would be very crabby. You can see that in Nelson Mandela, that forehead that's all sort of war scarred somehow. The eyebrows and the wavy triangle between the eyes. The wavy triangle. I'm not sure what that means, but I think I'm seeing that in Robin Williams and this particular woman here and the one next to her, Meryl Streep. Probably it looks like the eyebrows, you know, go right down sort of and follow the nose, don't they? They seem to curve right into the nose. All right, so yeah, the full moon round head. A lot of Cancerians have that, for sure. All right, moving on. The Cancer sun signs above display the internal currents of cardinal water as it shifts and rearranges their faces into a variety of liquid expressions. Robin Williams, that's a very liquid face, that one. Ringo Starr, Imelda Marcos, Phyllis Diller, and Ed Bradley all show how this sign's temples inflate and beam. So inflated temples, there you go. There's another way you can tell the sign. When they deliver their full moon expressions. With Red Skelton and Robin Williams, the waters seem to be under pressure. Skelton's 4 air planets percolate the 4 water components in his chart. With dominant fire, Williams's emotions take on the dynamics of an erupting geyser. Meryl Streep, Nelson Mandela, Dear Abby, Ann Landers, and Linda Ronstadt demonstrate how the waves of the turning tides can be contained in secured pools of emotional content. Yeah, so yeah, you can see that attunement to the emotions that these people have. Definitely, Linda Ronstadt, very clearly. All right, so we're up to Leo, masculine polarity, fixed fire. Okay, these people like the spotlights, so we can, it'd be nice to be able to read all this, and we probably will eventually, but for now we just stick with these components of the reading, the how to tell the physical features. So the careers of the Leos, entertainment, actors, dancers, directors, any position involving promotion and publicity. Leos also are skilled managers of people, youth workers and teachers as they inspire others to be creative. Some make excellent astrologers. Alrighty, there we go. Look at the Leos. You see the heart-shaped faces. You see the feline features here. These are all cats. They are all cool cats. And they love the limelight and they're good at delivering. They've got the fire, they've got the heart, they've got the courage, and they look for it and they get the attention, especially Leo ascendants. They don't have to do much. There's the lion there, and there's the children of the lion. So, a reader, physical traits.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, who wanted to?
Oh, okay.
No.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Great. Oh.
Great. Oh.
Leo rules the heart, the back, and the spine. In our fire red blood, Gemini's oxygen and Cancer's nourishments are pumped to all parts of our body by the heart. This life-giving blood circulates up and down the back, infusing the nerves of the spine and the back muscles with the life-giving force of the spirit. These parts of the body are ruled by the sign of Leo. The lion's heart leads them forward as they strut onto the stage. Their confidence immediately draws attention. As they receive more strokes, the fire becomes more stoked. As Leo reveals in the adulation. In the process, Leo's barrel-like chest swells and expands, along with their increased sense of self-importance. The incipient heart, stored in the glowing coals of Leo's internal furnace, will soon erupt in the burst of theoretical flares. To begin this examination of Leo's physical traits, we have 2 pure blood lines, Garrison Kaylor and Rose Marie. Both have Leo suns and rising signs. Their bone structure and facial expressions both mock the features we see in a lion. Note the cubical forehead, the bushy fixed brow, the wide blocked chest, and the jowly jaw. Like the kingly lion, the feline eyes seem to be placed high above the nostrils and the mouth. In their solar performances, these lions truly shine. Garrison, in his radio show, Prairie Home Companion, tells of his hometown where every child is above average. Rose Marie was the loud co-worker whose showy antics lit up the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Lovely, thank you very much. Okay, so mute your mics. So I like this. I like the Leo page here. Next week we're going to have William Schrad join us, and he's going to give us more pictures. Okay, so this is just part one, guys. This is just an introduction, just to tantalize you and get you ready for what Bill has got for us, because he goes into this a lot deeper and he knows all the traits to look for. He knows how to pick the signs so very well. But I see here all sorts of cats, you know, domestic cats. I see lions. These two up here, these are a couple of lions here. Banderas looks like some kind of a lynx, and Halle Berry's like a jaguar. You can see the cat here. We have the square head of the Leo, which is pretty similar to the square head of the Taurian. But you see there the feline coming through. These are all cats. The Leo sun signs above exhibit varying degrees of fixed fire. David Crosby, Delta Burke, and Melanie Griffith show Leo's distinct uplifted feline eyes. Uplifted feline eyes. Stanley Kubrick and Andy Warhol shows how these eyes can be intensely focused to create Leo's majestic visions. Jackie Kennedy, Linda Ellerbray, and Halle Berry show the stubby, wide-based nose and the wide, flat cheekbones. Yeah, Jackie Kennedy certainly has that stubby nose and wide cheekbones. Typical of this sign. They also show the unflappable confidence of calmer cats. Antonio Bandera and Billy Bob Thornton show the flamboyant bravado of dashing lions. You may also notice that most males of this species have excessive facial hair. Yep. Virgo, very similar to Gemini, August 23rd to September 23rd. Mutable Earth, feminine polarity. Ruling planet, Mercury. Good careers for these servants include scientific, statistician, gardener, accountant, teacher, and any job that deals with hygiene and health. Health and hygiene. So I'm going to mute, and Rita, jump in, please.
Greg, why don't you do this one, because I want to do Libra, because that's my sun sign.
I'm a Libra too.
Oh, sweet.
No, I got Virgo though, don't worry. Once you scroll to the top. Okay. So Virgo. Physical traits. Virgo rules the stomach and upper digestive tract. From Leo's heart, the rulership of body areas progresses downward, centering in the upper digestive tract and the system, in the stomach. This and the shift to feminine polarity distinctively alters the body language, as it constrains any excessive outward movement. Unlike the expansive air of Mercury-ruled Gemini, Virgo's hands remain close to the body, shielding the private areas of the body. This placement in the midsection of the body creates a protruding stomach, which pulls the chest and shoulders to the back. The lift in the rear section gives these people stilted walk, as the stomach and buttock sway left to right with every alternating step. The physical traits of Virgo can be seen in those who have strong Virgo in their chart. Keanu Reeves and Peter Sellers are excellent examples. Both of these men are Virgos with Virgo rising. Keanu, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, shows the high forehead, squinted offset eyes, thin nose and pointed chin, and the fastidious qualities of this sign. Peter shows a more rugged face with his jolly, chunky, and nerdy features. To demonstrate the strength of the ascendant, a picture of Leo Madonna is included. She has Virgo rising, and since the ascendant affects the bone structure, she has Virgo's gap between her front teeth. It's similar to what we see with Sellers. This line may be showy, but she looks just like a virgin.
Very cheeky. William is a funny man.
He is.
He is.
Yeah, Bill is a Capricorn, so Billy the Goat likes to play those capricious little funny jokes on people. So you're gonna see a lot of humour coming through in his capricious little nature there, Bill. But yeah, if we have a look at Madonna up close, you can see there. Can you see that gap in her teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the Virgo ascendant. So probably she was born at night. She has a nocturnal chart. I might be wrong, but definitely Madonna has that pointed chin and the gap between the teeth from the mutable sign of Virgo. Remember, the mutable signs do this. They, because mutability has a duality, a two-ness about them. The teeth get split in the front, and the eyes will have that, skewed look about them. So, yeah, the pointy chin, you can see that. It's pretty clear on all of them. And here, this one here, I forget the name of this woman here, though, but she's really got the Virgoan look with the gap in the front of the teeth, but they sort of have that wizard look, a bohemian look. These are the real gypsies. Contorted, very contorted facial features. The face is it's like there are many faces there. The women, look at Lauren Bacall there. Just beautiful, stunning, mercurial, stunning feminine curves there. The woman is just captivating, really. So they do have Mercury all about them, guys. It's very mercurial, contorted-looking features. It's incredible. The faces of the Virgo sun signs above are torqued and twisted by the mutable forces, more than any other mutable sign. The skewed features are easiest to detect, since they're anchored in the solid clay of the element Earth. Richard Gere, Dr. Phil McGrath, and Sean Connery show the offset cheekbones, twisted noses, and angled chins. Yeah, the noses. Look for those noses. They just curve around. They don't go straight down. And the angled chins. Nose goes one way, chin goes the other way, always with a Virgoan. You just look at their face, and if the nose is pointing to the left and the chin to the right, that's a Virgoan. So, Lauren Bacall, Cameron Diaz, and Leanne Rimes show how Virgo's asymmetrical eyes and facial features can be so beautiful. And Oliver Stone and Agatha Christie show the common gap in the upper center teeth. Lily Tomlin and Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, with their extreme nervous natures, show how the Mercury engaged energies of Virgo can run amok. There you go. That's the Virgoan. So I did the careers. Okay. Libra, here we go. So September 24th to October 23rd. I would say September 23rd, actually, the equinox. Why 24th is a little bit too late, in my opinion. So, careers: lawyers, judges, beauticians, dress designers, welfare workers, and any work that's carried on in surroundings where the arts are appreciated. Why? Well, because of Venus. Venus is the arts. Here's the Librans, the round head again, very much like the Cancerians, but different. These ones would be, in general, more sort of balanced. The features, all the other features will be balanced. The eyebrows, the eyes. There's not so much a skewed look there. So, Rita, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll mute.
Okay. Physical traits. Libra rules the kidneys, lumbar region, skin surface. The rulership of body areas started at the head in Aries. Appropriately, when we reach the midpoint between the head and the feet, we are in the region of the body ruled by the opposite sign of Aries, Libra. Here, the lumbar and the kidneys make up this arena of rulership. Also, in some traditional listings, this rulership includes the surface of all the skin. These rulerships account for Libra's perfectly proportionate features, their creamy smooth skin, and their very easygoing, well-balanced mannerisms. As Libras glide across the floor, their bodies seem to be perfectly erect. The hands are held low with the fingers pointing to the sides, arms moving in and out to teeter the torso left or right to maintain the balance. Many people with this sign seem to walk like they have a book balanced on their head. Perhaps this is why so many of them are fashion models. The body is full and rounded like a cumulus cloud, light but not necessarily lean. All sections of the body are evenly proportionate. The head often appears slightly larger than normal. Barbara Walters and Jimmy Carter are both Libras with Libra rising. In their bone structure and facial features, the archetypal shapes and qualities of Libra are enhanced. Since the solar expressions and the mask are one and the same, there is no filter to slow their rapid delivery of words. They both say what they think.
Yes, they do. They say what they think for sure. That's the balance sign there. So all of the features, they have the vertical dimples. That's one way you can tell the Librans. Level eyebrows. Here you'll see the level eyebrows. So reading on, these Libra sun signs exhibit varying degrees of the equalizing force and drive of cardinal air. Kate Winslet and Will Smith both project Libra's calming force, even in the most titanic and catastrophic situations. Cheryl Tiegs, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Annette Funicello, with their ever-present smiles, present the natural beauty of Venus influence. John Lennon and Dwight Eisenhower showed their persuasive drive in peace and war. President Ike, along with Mickey Mantle, Kelly Ripa, and Matt Damon, strongly display Libra's recognizable facial features. Note how the level eyebrows and the wide upper eyelids stretch out to the sides from the sparkling almond eyes. Also, you'll notice how the spherical cheekbones cap the easily recognized Libra smile, which runs from ear to ear as it forms the V-shaped lines and long vertical dimples. Yeah, you can see the V-shaped jaws, can't you? Very similar to the Virgoan chin, and the long dimples. Those are the scales, guys. It's all there. Spherical cheekbones. They look like, especially here in this case here, over here. Okie dokie. And did we do the careers? Yes, we did. Scorpio, October 24th to November 22nd. That should be October 23rd, in my opinion. Careers for Scorpios include psychiatrists, detectives, police, and military work, and psychic and spiritual healers. Some of the world's best surgeons are Scorpios. All right, there's the Scorpio look. This is another one that I find very powerful. It's pretty much an unmistakable one. These ones have the beaks, the bird beaks. So do we have a reader, please?
I can go. I can step in again.
Jump in. Thank you.
Yep. So, Scorpio. Don't mute me. Scorpio. Physical traits. Scorpio rules the pelvic region and reproductive organs. From the balanced middle point of Libra, rulership of body areas progresses into the lower half. When this intense energy is concentrated in the pelvic area of the body, the stance of the body suggests that this person is strongly focused and in control of his or her own internal power. The shift to the hips draws the pelvic region forward as it sends the upper torso and the legs to the back. At the upper back, the neck and head juts sharply to the front to create the easy, recognized, eagle-like profile. The arms hang heavily to the sides, suggesting the feathered wings, which desire to lift this creature upward in flight. The cubical shaping of the head, with its flat back section, which runs in line with the angle of the upper back, can be seen in the Scorpio sun signs and in the bone structure of Scorpio risings. To illustrate this phenomenon of the Scorpio profile, we have pictures of 3 Scorpio suns, Billy Graham, Neil Young, and Grace Kelly, who also have Scorpio rising. Billy and Grace show the sharp arc in the upper back. Neil distinctly demonstrates how the back of the skull sweeps to the front to push the breath forward at the top. Yeah, they are definitely Scorpio. Me and someone were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, they definitely, you cannot mistake them at all.
Yeah.
I
Mark,
always 100% always guess a
I
Scorpio.
always 100% always guess a Scorpio.
Yeah. Scorpio is easy to guess, isn't it? Because the penetrating eagle eye look and the iron of Mars and the intensity of the emotions of fixed water, it's such an easy one to pick. Here's an interesting fact. One day I'm going to do an astrological show on all the music bands of history, like Led Zeppelin, and why did they pick their names, and why did they play that particular brand of music, and show their signs and how those bands work together. The Eagles, right now, the Eagles, the 3 front singers, Walsh, Glenn Frey, and Schmidt, are all Scorpios. Now, the eagle, as you can see here, you can see the chicken hawk in all of them. You can see the eagle beaks. They've all got beaks. And if you have a look at your Sagittariuses, you can see the horse, the long, happy, jovial, Jupiterian Sagittarians, whereas the Scorpios, not so happy, penetrating, serious, like the eagle, is looking at you, watching you with their beaks. And so, isn't it amazing? So you have 3 Scorpios fronting the band, and they're called the Eagles. When you go over to Led Zeppelin, you ask the question, where's the lead? And you see that both guitarists, John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page, are Capricorn. Saturn is the ruler, Led Zeppelin. So, and I'll go through all these bands like Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and why were they called such, and why did they play this particular kind of music. You'll find that bands that have a lot of water signs will have emotional music, like the Eagles. It's all emotional. It's all based on the emotions and love and stuff like that. The air signs, they will have mental themes, poetry, Bob Dylan, John Lennon. It's all sort of no emotions, totally detached from emotions, but political themes, humanitarian themes, etc., etc.
Yeah, Santos, can I just ask something real quick?
Jump in if you've got something to...
Santos, can I just ask something real quick?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, on the Eagles, do you think they were conscious of choosing their name?
Hold on just a second. Santos, can you
Hold on just a
real
second.
quick?
Santos, can you move the mic real quick?
Yeah, a little bit of feedback.
Okay, ask again.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you think the frontmen of the Eagles were conscious of their Scorpio signs, and that's why they chose the name Eagles, and all the other bands that you mentioned too?
You know what's really funny about that?
You know what's really funny about that?
Were you?
Good question. Great question. I would say that some are and some are not, and they don't have to be. because I've shown this many times that consciously or unconsciously, the stars still rule the names of all things and the order of all things. So parents who name their children, for instance, Dan is a common name for Scorpios, Daniel or Dan, because it's the tribe of Dan in the Hebrew system. You go over to Aries and you'll have things like names like Michael, Santos. Michael is the sun. Santos means the sun, the saint. You go over to Leos, you'll get a lot of Richards. How many Richards? Because Richard the Lionheart. And whether the parents are conscious or not, or whether a band, you know, I'm sure Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, when they sat down and said, let's call ourselves Led Zeppelin, didn't consciously think of their signs, but the signs did impose their energy on them, and so the register of language that they use and the choice of words that they use will come from the element of their signs. So if you listen to my language, you'll find that I use certain words a lot, and they come from Aryan cardinal fire energy, you see, and so forth. And you'll notice that with all your friends. And so when you go around the signs, you'll find that each of them has their own humors and their own personality traits. For instance, Aries would be choleric and sanguine. Taurus will be phlegmatic and choleric. Gemini will be sanguine and choleric. Cancer will be phlegmatic and melancholic. Libra is definitely choleric and melancholic. They've both got that aggression of cardinal, but they've also got that melancholic sadness of the sun setting. All Librans have a tinge of sadness. I've got a brother and a sister, and my son are Librans, and you see that that tinge of sadness because the sun is set in Libra. Scorpios, they will have choleric, and I think they are also melancholic, choleric and melancholic. And so you'll see a mixture of these characteristics in the signs. And so Scorpio definitely has that. They're the best fighters in armies. You know, in ancient times when Alexander wanted to win a war, the front men would have to be Scorpions. You put your Scorpios up front, followed by your Arians. Your archers would be your Sagittarians. Hello. Your javelin throwers, you know, you probably have Librans. The Taurians would make the good shield holders. The flanksmen would be you'd have Geminis there because they're tricky. Horsemen you'd put you as Sagittarians. And so each sign does a different purpose. And if you want to win wars, or if you want to win a game in sports, and you're a coach and you don't know anything about astrology, you're liable to lose, man. Because if you put, say, a fire sign, an Arian, up against the Cancerian in any dualistic match, you'll find in any sport, you'll find that the water of the Cancerian will conquer the water of the Cancerian will conquer the Arian, because water smothers fire. Whereas if you put it against the Gemini, the Arian will win, because the Gemini is just giving air to the fire of the Libran, of the Arian. And so you have to match up your opponents according to astrology, you see. If I was a coach of a football team, I would win all the games. Not one would I lose, man, because I would study the astrology of the opponents and work out which element will conquer the other element, you see. And so this is something that is totally ignored. Without astrology, half of our lives just go flashing by, and we don't catch the essence of half of it, really. So let's continue on. These Scorpio sun signs exhibit varying degrees of the focused emotional energy of fixed water. Ethan Hawke, Leo DiCaprio, and Owen Wilson demonstrate the Scorpion's fixed laser-like glare. Laura Bush, Whoopi Goldberg, and Scarlett Johansson show how the eyes sweep up on the sides just before these eagles take off in flight. F. Murray Abraham, Dennis Franz, Hillary Clinton, and Condoleezza Rice display the intense concentration many Scorpios present just before they reveal their secret discoveries. Most of these individuals show the square skull and wide fixed brows and deep intense eyes, the flat cheek planes, and the prominent beaks that are common when Scorpio is dominant in any chart. Notice again, these have the square sort of look in the head too. Hillary Clinton shows that. Same as Leo and Taurus, these are all the fixed signs. So it appears that the fixed signs have that squareness about their heads. Sagittarius, November 23rd to December 22. Careers. Careers for Sagittarians include teachers, lecturers, lawyers, interpreters, veterinary surgeons, horse trainers, travel agents. Of course, the 9th house is the house of long journeys, so of course they're going to be great travel agents. You'll see them as flight attendants. Lots of them are Sagittarians or Geminians. Sportsmen, priests, writers, and any work that doesn't rein in this creature's roaming spirit. Interesting. So here we have the Sagittarians. They're very jovial, happy people, always smiling, a little bit like the Librans, really. So let's get a reader, please.
I want to do this one. This is awesome. Note all of those long faces like the horse. Okay. Physical traits. Sagittarius rules the thighs. When the body forces shift onto the thighs, the energy is divided. As one high-stepping thigh, then the other, pulls the lower body forward on the path ahead. Any change in attitude abruptly alters the course. This placement of force in this body region greatly defines this creature's body appearance. The upper chest, which sways to the back, seems abnormally small compared to the lower pear-shaped hips and large thighs. The legs seem to become smaller and narrower as they progress down to the feet, which appears as diminutive, I can't even say the word, hoofs. The half-horse, half-human creature on the right illustrates the dynamics and body language of these creatures. The horse qualities are also suggested in this sign's facial features. Joe DiMaggio and Felicity Huffman show the high domed forehead and the long face, the unusually large jaw and skewed features typically of a mutable sign. Huffman shows the classic horse laugh, which exposes the pony's giant front teeth. DiMaggio's Sagittarius ascendant impacts the underlying bone structure, which makes the bulbous tipped nose and the long horse jaw more exaggerated. He also displays the large pointed horse ears.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite too. But the jaw, my, look out for that jaw, man. They are whopping big jaws. Not all of them, of course. And remember too something, guys. There's 3 deacons in every sign. So there are other works that you can get into in astrology, which will show you that there's more than one type for each sign. Okay, so there's usually 3 solid types for each sign, and some of them have slightly varying features. So it's not all just one Sagittarian type. There's some of them have certain features, and others have the other ones. Like they don't all have long faces, okay, and they don't all have big jaws, and they don't have all perfect horse teeth. Their teeth are just impeccable. They're just perfect. The best teeth, Sagittarians, and that bulbous nose. That doesn't always apply, you know. So there's always mixtures of these, okay. So the Sagittarius sun signs displayed above exhibit the impulsive and scattered energy of mutable fire, Dick Van Dyke, John Stewart, and Ben Stiller display the comedic nature of this sign. Yeah, because jovial Jovis Jupiter is a clown. They like to clown around. In their performances, Christina Aguilera, Tyra Banks, and Jeff Bridges show the centaur's fiery verbosity and excitability. Lucy Liu, Bette Midler, and Terry Hatcher demonstrate how the eyes arch up and widen at the outer top to create the sign's unique horse-like eyes. Let me stop there. When we get to Pisces, the other sign of Jupiter, they also have the fish eyes, which are round to the side. Pisceans and Jupiterians, both ruled by Sagittarians, both ruled by Jupiter, have this feature where the eyes go almost around to the side of the face. Steven Spielberg and all of the archers in this group, in their work and personalities, project the optimism and far-reaching visions of Sagittarius. Capricorn, December 23rd to January 20, feminine polarity, cardinal Earth. Let's have a look at ruling planet is Saturn. Oh, Led Zeppelin. Capricorn, careers often depend on the other components of their charts. Any career will receive 110% effort. It's true. They are climbers. They are marshals of the troops. They are great strategians. Yeah, they're just great at climbing those mountains and getting what they want. Very similar to Aries in a way, but much earthier and much more serious. Serious, sweet Capricorns. So we'll have a reader, please.
Capricorn rules the knees. The cardinal earth forces of Capricorn are contained and centered in the knees, the part of the body ruled by this sign. At these bony joints, the high-stepping centaur thighs turn to the back. To plant the feet firmly on the ground. With their knees to the front, Capricorn's knees carry them steadily and cautiously forward. The mountain goat doesn't want to slip. Resulting body mechanics send the butt to the back as it tilts the upper torso and head forward. This angle points the head down to the ground. The eyes must be aimed upward so that the goat can see the craggy peaks that lie ahead. This body rulership greatly defines the creature's physical features as Saturn's constraining energies reduce the size of the body parts. The extremities, like those of the crab, are thin and short. Unlike Cancer, the torso and the shoulders are also minimized. These goat-like features are prominent in the makeup of Anthony Hopkins and James Earl Jones. Both have Capricorn sun and rising signs. Jones also has a Capricorn moon. This triple earth accounts for his deep, resonant voice. Both display the deep-set eyes and the eyelids that wrap to the sides of the face. The wide cheekbones, the long dipping snout, and the large, thin-edged upper lip plate.
Yeah, the large thin upper lip plate. That one is it's pretty prominent here, here, if you can still see my cursor, and in these two individuals here. And the wide cheekbones. Have a look at Eddie Vedder here. Yeah, well, I find them to be secretive, sweet, and serious. The three S's. And sensual. Add a fourth one. Very sensual, Capricorns. They do know their senses very well. These are builders, carpenters, practical people. Really practical, you know. Great generals, great marshals and sports people. Muhammad Ali, Capricorn, you know, unbeatable. So the Capricorn sun signs above exhibit varying degrees of the drive of cardinal Earth. Diane Keaton, Eddie Vedder, Ava Gardner, and Judd Law show that wide, down-drawn cheekbones of a short-jawed goat. Vedder shows how these craggy cheeks are firmly set at a young age. That's why younger goats appear so serious and why they mellow and appear younger looking with age. The long-faced versions of this sign include Ted Danson, Denzel Washington, and Nicolas Cage. Goats in a happier mood will often present the tight smile with the twisted snarl on one side. This is seen with Katie Couric and Betty White. In the sparkling crystal eyes of Sissy Spacek, we see the contentment of a soul who has reached the top of her mountain. Yeah, that one there, I think that is. Very true. And there's that goat there. The wide cheekbones, long dipping snout, and the large, thin-edged upper lip plate. That guy's got it, this guy here. What's his name there, Jones?
That's Darth Vader right
Alrighty,
there, mate.
Aquarius.
Darth Vader right there, mate. Right there.
Which one?
The L. Jones. He does the voice for Darth.
The L. Jones. He does the voice for Darth.
Ah, there you go.
And by the way, they're all very good-looking people,
Aquarius.
these Capricorns.
And by the way, they're all very good-looking people, these Capricorns.
Oh yeah, of course. I forgot the fifth. I forgot the fifth S. Sexy, sweet, shy, serious, sensual. All S's for Saturn. Yes, I agree. The girls are. Oh well, I mean even the guys, but I'm not going to sort of. You know, I prefer to lean the other way, and yes, definitely the women are sexy. Capricorns, 100%. Aquarius, masculine polarity, fixed air. Ruling planet is, he's got Uranus here, but traditionally it's Saturn. We're not going to focus too much on the higher octave rulers, but keep them in mind. Everything you store in your memory is good, guys, everything. But Saturn's the ruler of Aquarius, and that's his day house. Capricorn is his night rulership house. So they excel as scientists, writers, social workers, and in the field of mass communication. Physical traits, well, this is how they walk here. So let's have a look at that with a reader, please.
Is it me again? Okay. So, Aquarius. Physical traits. Aquarius rules the calves and lower leg. With the expansive masculine forces of air centered in the lower legs, the feet seem to rarely touch the ground, as Aquarius skips above the ground like a hovercraft. That's every Aquarian I know does that.
Yeah.
So, as the calves flap in the breeze, the lower legs pull the lower half of the body to the front. The upper torso and arms push to the back like a sail resisting wind. This body rulership not only defines Aquarius' body language, it greatly affects their physique. Like the long and voluminous calves, the rest of the body appears larger than normal in its width, but strangely flattened in its depth. Even with wide shoulders, the upper torso noticeably narrows in its front to back proportions. Also, the back and the buttock are noticeably flat. This is the phenomenon of fixed air. Like a sail, it tightens and widens as it resists forces of the wind. The photos of Chris Rock and Carmen Miranda show how Aquarians seem to resist the onslaught of prevailing winds. This resistance accumulates as it builds in intensity. At some point, the electricity is abruptly released in a burst of sparks. Aquarians have quite large heads, but the facial features seem to be compacted into a small area on the skull. The compaction draws the eyes close together as it pulls the eyelids down the sides. The jaw is pulled upward as the cheekbones are drawn into the center. This creates dimples high under the cheeks and the tight downward drawn smile. Very true with every Aquarian.
Yeah.
Very true. This
Yeah.
is really cool stuff.
This is really cool stuff.
Yeah, look at the eyes. I mean, Librans and Geminis have this too, but there's something about the eyes, and you can see that their eyes are connected to their mind. Their mind is showing through their eyes. You know how they say the eyes are a portal to the soul, window to the soul, and clearly the humane signs of the air signs, which are all, there's no animals at all in Libra or Aquarius or Gemini. So these are the signs where more humanity is showing, and it shows in the eyes: compassion, mind, human mind. And the eyes are intense. It's not like fiery eyes. It's more like intense mental eyes. The Leos and Saggies and the Arians have fire. You know, it's like they're more dangerous looking. But these ones look more humane, but very intense. Look at Farrah Fawcett's eyes. You know, it's all mental. It's like you can hear them thinking. You can hear them thinking through their eyes. It's incredible. And you can pick that in Aquarians from a mile away. So I like that. It's funny how it says there, dimples high under the cheeks. And look at Farrah Fawcett. Look at Jennifer Aniston, those dimples right up there under the cheeks. There's your Aquarians, similar to the straighter dimples, vertical dimples of the Librans. All right, so the Aquarian sun sign above exhibit varying degrees of the holding energy of fixed air. Greener Davy, Carol Channing, and Farrah Fawcett show how the cheekbones are short, square jaw form the rectangular box, the lower half of the skull. Paul Newman and John Travolta display the electric blue eyes. Oh, okay, here I am, chopping up my writing here. Gina Davis, of course. Rectangular box on the lower half of the skull. All right. Paul Newman and John Travolta display the electric blue eyes that seem to spark at different thoughts. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Run through their heads. Yeah, you can see the thinking in their eyes. You can just see them think. It's like a computer. Alan Alda, Jennifer Aniston, and most noticeably Ted Koppel show how the small facial features are centered on an out-of-proportioned head. Paris Hilton and Justin Timberlake show the cool and distant stare that seemed to look straight through you, as if you weren't even there. That's the look. That's the look of the Aquarian. Love it. Pisces, we're finished, guys. From the 20th of Feb to the 20th of March, feminine polarity, mutable water. Lovely, 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 lovely. Careers. Did we do the careers of the Aquarians? Scientists, writers, social workers, and in the field of mass communication. Yes, we did. Pisces. Careers including dancing, of course, because Pisces rules the feet. They are good sportsmen, good drummers, anything that uses the feet. Dancing, great dancers. Acting, poetry, fishing, and priesthood. Of course, it's the sign of service. All the mutable signs are. Though they tend to favour the arts over science, Pisceans will often serve in the healing profession so they can help others. Service. Rita, please jump in.
I will totally do this one since this is my rising sign. Okay. Physical traits. Pisces rules the feet. As the body rulership slides into the feet, all parts of the body work together to carry Pisces down their destined path. In this foot, meridians run to all parts of the body, and with each step, something else is stimulated. Be it as be it a desire, a sensation, a thought, or a feeling. These changes constantly alter their path, weaving the fish back and forth and up and down, bobbling and twisting like a flotsam on the ocean's surface. This body rulership defines the body's language and physique. With feet to the front, these fish seem incapable of pursuing a forward assault. After all, the body is weighted to the back by the ballooning head and the upper torso that bulges noticeably at the upper back. It's the life preserver that keeps Pisces' head above the waters. In the facial features, we see the same phenomenon. The facial lines all seem to run to the bottom, sinking to the feet below. In contrast, the wide, inflated cheekbones appear to give the upper face its needed buoyancy, to keep the eyes and brows above the wavy water surface. Judd Hirsch and Lynn Redgrave, with their Pisces sun and ascendants, show the sagging bone structure and facial lines of the fish. Note how one side of the face sinks below the other, twisting the bone structure and the flesh. Like a fish, the eyes seem to present portal views to the sides, rather than to the front.
Yeah, and that was also a feature of Sagittarius. Remember the Jupiterian signs, and you can see that clearly here in this woman here. I don't know her name now, but the eyes are wide set, and they seem to just want to go out. Who's that?
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah.
Ah, Queen Latifah. There you go. Liza Minnelli has a little bit of that. Some of them really don't. I mean, their eyes are not that wide set at all. But you can see the dreamy eyes for sure. You know, there's sort of a dreamy look there. There's no intensity. It's just like soft and dreamy, like the Taurians. Okay, the Pisces sun signs above display varying degrees of the liquid force of mutable water. The large, dreamy eyes of Albert Einstein and Liza Minnelli give us the impression that they are floating in some other world. They are joined by George Harrison and Edgar Cayce, who also reflect the look of wonder that comes when one is connected to the spirits of all things big and small. Steve Irwin, Bruce Willis, and Sally Jesse Raphael show the skewed mutable facial lines and how the eyes seem to peer in two directions. Queen Latifah, Drew Barrymore, and Jennifer Love Hewitt demonstrate how the thick eyelids float up on the outer sides to create the image wave-like sockets of the dreamy eyes. Wow. Every time you read here, you learn something new, guys. Look, I just can't say enough about this study. This is only the beginning. Bill Schreiber will join us next week, and he has more pictures of more famous people that we know that we can add and in color. And we are going to make a real study of this, guys, because what we're going to do is we're going to be the group of best astrologers on the planet and in history. For now is the time, and carpe diem, seize the day, really. We've got all of these great tools, guys. You can see clearly that the sun manifests certain energies through electrical forces along the ecliptic. You saw how the sine wave works. The sine wave is the teacher of all things. All is waves. There are only waves out there. There's no particles. It's wave diffusion. It's not particle diffusion. And everything is caused by these sin waves, sin of Eve, the sine waves. Here are the horses. Here are the eagles. There's no mistake about this, and it only works tropically. The sidereal system fails 100%. Doesn't work. It's all tropical. Tropical rules. You can't get pictures of these and fit them into... You can't get any pictures of anyone and fit them into the sidereal system, because physically it doesn't work. It is out of sync tropical is in sync. There's the skewed Virgoans, the facial features. Here's the pussycats. Here's the Cancerians, the lunar people. There's the Geminians, the witty, the cheeky. There's the sensual, earthy Taurians. And there's the iron-like martial Arians. So thanks for joining, guys, and I hope you really got a lot out of that. I'll just get out of that. Now, I would recommend you hop onto Bill's site, support Bill. He doesn't actually make a lot out of this book. He only makes a few dollars, and so the best way to buy from him is directly from his website, because if you go to Amazon, he probably only gets 50 cents for each book. So, and I know personally that Bill is struggling, as I am. We're all struggling, but not spiritually. Spiritually, we are more advanced than any humans have been for thousands of years on this planet, so we can rejoice in that. But I would recommend before next week that you do so. Grab that book if you can. And I just have one more housekeeping thing for next week. Now, I've got some visitors staying with me for a week, so there won't be, next week there will be 3 shows. The 3 shows. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them forward one day. So we will have the chart reading, astrology chart reading course part 2, oh well, part 3 really. We'll have that on my Monday, your Sunday. Then I'm going to do 2 shows on the Tuesday, if that's possible, with Summer, who hosts the shows. We're going to do the vegan demon slaying show in the morning for me, 8 o'clock, and then and then an hour after that finishes, I'm going to do this show, this one that we're doing today with Bill. So we're going to have a lot, if you can handle it. If not, we'll have to wait, because I'm going to have a week off after next week. And just one more thing I would like to share with you is that I would appreciate it if perhaps not so many people send me messages during that week, because I won't be checking them, and I'm going to be struggling to answer them. So if you can share that around, you guys, because you're in the group, and perhaps just make a note of it in the Skype group and perhaps on Facebook that I'm having a week off, so wait if you want to send messages or inquire about anything, and redirect those questions to the group, and anyone there in the admin group that knows the answer to it, because you're very resourceful, please help.
Yeah, Santos, just
because I do need a rest.
Yeah, Santos, just
whenever just send me what you just said.
whenever just send me
just to
what
clarify
you just said,
everything.
and just to clarify everything.
And Paul, who is in charge
Great.
of the Facebook,
And Paul,
will
who
do that, like let that know, known on page
that, like, let that know, known on page Uni, all of it.
All right, so I can do 5 minutes of questions if anyone's got a question or two.
Okay, just mute your mic while they ask the question.
Okay, just mute your mic while they ask the question.
Yeah, well, Santos, I've been watching you or studying with you for months, so I guess I have too many questions to go through now. I did want to save this for the end because it's kind of unrelated. I was hoping maybe we could do one show, kind of focus more on law and syncretism, because this promissory note is kind of starting to get out in Canada. I've been talking to a few people about it, so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I'm all for remedies, if you want to call it that, in the structure that we have. I did post today a guy called Romney Stewart. Please, if you really want to get the sovereignty, law, self-determination knowledge correct, check out Romney Stewart. He's an Australian, and he's discovered so much about law and the tricks and devices that the judiciary and bar are using to trick us. And that would be sign language. When you see all caps, your name, especially your legal name, the surname, the surety name, when you see that in all caps, that's sign language. It's not English. So if you're ever going to go into court, first question you need to ask is, what language is being used today? And you watch what happens to that courtroom, man. Because they're not using English. It's not English. It's sign language. All caps. And what they're doing is they're putting words in sentences. For instance, if they have a heading on their paperwork and it says Supreme Court of Victoria, that's not a sentence. It's not English. That's sign language. And so Romney has discovered this, and I think it's one of the biggest, most powerful discoveries of research that will affect the judiciary forever more. It's the language. You see, if you go in there and you claim to understand English, well, then they're going to get you because you've made a claim. It's an official language, and you're not an officer.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't be using an official language. Yeah. So look, for now, because I'm not the best person to ask about promissory notes and procedures and what have you. Look at me. I mean, I've failed. I've been in jail 2 times because of failing. And even better people than me, like Dean Clifford and others, you know, land themselves in jail. It's very tricky. Okay.
Yeah.
Very tricky. So check out the good guys that are doing the research. Romney Stewart is top of the top, and I've just posted 5 of his vids. You'll find it on the very, very top of my Facebook posts. Get into him and share him everywhere, because it's what he's saying is valid in all countries. All right, so another question on subject, please.
Okay.
Possible.
I have a question.
Mute your mic, Sam.
I have a question. Mute your mic, Sam.
Okay, on the practical side of using astrology, why, okay, so for spiritual reasons or syncretism, like, what, do you do it so you can, you know, figure out more about yourself and for introspective reasons, or for, like, what, do you use it as, like, a monthly or yearly thing to figure out where your life's going, or, like, what do you do exactly, like, where does this go to, basically?
Okay. The astrological birth chart, which is called a radix chart, is useful for every facet of your life. The physical, the health, the spiritual, the emotional, the mental. You'll find information there everywhere about these arenas. And with certain different kinds of astrology, you can even look into the future. You can look at next year when you progress a chart. You can look at every year of your life and see how transits and conjunctions and all sorts of aspects influence and affect the life and the course of the life. And so astrology is like, let's say you take your car to the mechanic, and the mechanic hears all these sounds and things, and he can tell that the car's not running well, right? So when you look at your chart, you can see the areas that don't go well, you know, whether it's bad luck in relationships, whether it's bad luck in career or health, and it's all there. All the information is there. And rest assured, with the course that we are going to do, we are going to learn all the kinds of astrology, all of them. We're not going to leave any of them behind. We're going to start with the foundation, which is the essential dignities and the accidental dignities and the aspects. And what that will give us, the essential dignities are likened unto say, a car with luxuries. The more dignities you have, the more luxuries you have. Electric windows, climate control, cruise control, all those nice things, right? So if you've got a lot of essential dignity, you've got a Rolls Royce. Accidental dignities deal with the accidents that are going around the car. For instance, you might be driving on a rickety old dirt road with potholes everywhere. So you've got this beautiful Rolls Royce, but the road is all over the place, and you get a puncture in your tyre, it overheats, and so accidentally the houses and where the planets are in the houses shows that even though you've got a good nature and you've got a good body and good mind and everything like that, you just happen to have a lot of bad luck. So it's, you know, having a lot of essential dignities is great, but if it's not matched by accidental dignities, then, you know, it's a bit of this and a bit of that. And then the aspects, of course, is how the planets talk to each other. If they're opposed to each other like this, well, that's going to be some friction in your life, and you need to see where those planets are, in what houses, to see whether it's in your first house and in your seventh house. So the friction will be in your personal life and in your health and in the life of your partnerships. So you're going to have troubles there, and you know this, and so you can adjust your energies. If it's a square, then it's a pretty similar kind of friction in the life. If it's a trine, the trine is very harmonious. It's 120 degrees. So these planets aspect to each other, and they're sending each other good energy. So you can see where the good energies are flowing. And you might find that you might have a chart that is pointing to a spiritual career. And here you are, and you haven't even activated your spiritual career through various reasons. And so seeing that, you can adjust your life and take the true path that you're supposed to be. Because if you don't know this, you can be encouraged and influenced by the wrong kind of influences, and you might be doing a career or something that is totally opposed to the nature of your chart. And you're going to learn how to find these things. You're going to learn how to find whether there's much force of spirituality in your chart, or whether there's force of artistic talent. And unless these things, you see them in your own chart, sometimes some people don't even awaken them. So in order to awaken the good and block the bad, and we're going to learn how to do that. Unless you do that and look at it in your chart, you won't take advantage of those energies. And so what we're going to learn is various techniques like chanting. So if your Saturn is weak, you're going to learn how to chant to Saturn. And so you'll learn the Sanskrit way of chanting. And that would be Shani Chandra. So Om Shani Chandraya Namaha. And so now you're singing to Saturn. And so you are strengthening your Saturn. Then you come to Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. And so now you're singing to Mars. The Sun. Om Shukraya Namaha. Etc. No, Suraya. Shukraya is Venus. So Om Suraya Namaha. And so we're going to learn those 7 chants. We're going to look at your charts. You'll learn how to see which planets are weak and debilitated, which planets are strengthened and have a lot of force, so you don't need to strengthen those. You're going to learn how to use crystals. So if you've got a weak Jupiter, you look up crystals for Jupiter and you wear those crystals. And so you ask yourself the question, where do I wear those crystals? If Jupiter is in Aries, well then you're going to have to get a Jupiterian crystal somehow around your head. How are you going to do that? If it's in Taurus, you're going to have to wear a Jupiterian crystal around your neck. If it's in Gemini, it'll have to be lower. And so you're going to have to find ways of doing that, or you might be able to put them around your wrist or around certain fingers that are, see, some fingers are more inclined to be, this will probably be the mercurial finger, this will be the sun, this will be the moon, and so you'll learn where to put the crystals. So there's chanting, there's herbs, there's crystals, there's all these techniques. So, Yeah, look, astrology is, the chart reading is going to introduce you, if you haven't already been introduced, to the electrical circuitry and the energy structure and dynamics of you. And all charts are different. And so you're going to see how unique you are, and you're going to understand that, and then you're going to appreciate it. The moment you appreciate how unique you are, that's the moment you will develop wings and fly. And looking at your chart will give you that inspiration. It will make you start flying, because you'll say, hey, look, I've got a great Saturn in my chart. You know, I should be a great teacher. I should be more serious. And if I stop playing around and joking around so much, Saturn will favor me, because he's a serious planet. So I need to be more serious. I've been too much of a joker. I've been too light-hearted and too lackadaisical in my approach to life. Or if you're too serious and your Jupiter is weak, you need to lighten up. You need to be more jovial. And so seeing that will redirect your course. You will redirect your course, and you will make it better. I have made my life better by the day with astrology. All right, dear ones, I do have to go now. I've got to go downtown and fix get my car fixed. So thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for next week, because Bill's gonna, if you thought you learnt a lot today and it was good, next week is going to be learning on steroids, because he's got all the little tricks and knickknacks and how to teach about what to look for each sign. He is the expert, leading expert in the world. So thanks once again. Omnia vincit veritas, and may the source be with you.